this gets brought up where it's like, oh, well, we don't do that anymore. I was like, why? I was my kid's age fucking 22 years ago. All right, so don't tell me that somehow just time is the issue, and well, we don't do that anymore. Well, that's not a moral justification. How come it was fine 20 years ago, which is nothing in the time of history? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
20 years is nothing. And for some odd reason, in the time that I was my daughter's age until now, there's a huge fucking gap and difference in a lot of this stuff. And all I see is that time surpassed. Nothing really changed.
It's time and propaganda, man. It really is. Yeah, the more you push that propaganda, and, I've got kids, 16, 20 years older than yours. And I keep seeing the same thing through them. I mean, albeit they do have that little bit of advantage that the old man is sitting here going, no, and wait a minute, another side of no, just right here for you. You don't have to believe that bullshit. And it all boils down to just how much they've been indoctrinated their entire lives. We didn't get to realize this. I mean, Trip, I think I can speak for you on this one, but at least until our 30s, man. And,
well, I mean, I'm 31 now. But,
you young buck.
I continue to say this to people, is like, it's been fine-tuned over the years, but I've felt like this since I was even younger than my kids' age now. I felt like that, like, no, there's this innate feeling that I have about how wrong some of this shit is that people
I kind of got it shoved in my face when I was a kid, because I was like a little bit more advanced than all the rest of the kids in the class. So they stuck me in a corner with books, which is probably not... If they wanted to keep me down from fighting against this system, they should have never fucking done that, but...
I'm really glad you brought that up, because that's what I've really encouraged my daughter to do, and she's just, as far as reading and writing, she is fucking incredible and way beyond her years for what she's doing and what she's accomplishing.
That's a good thing. And now I have to ask you, and I hate to put you on the spot here on the show and everything, but was that because of something that was taught to her externally, or was that something that mom and pops brought to the child? So, here, we got a little bit of knowledge for you.
Well, I always, she was probably 3 months before turning 2 is when me and her mom split up. But I read to her every night. I would read to her every night. And I was very adamant about that. Sadly, we're reading bigger books and we're taking longer, but I don't read to her every night. But she likes reading, and I really try to encourage that, because she's very, very good at it. But the part of that is going like, go off on your own adventures. I was a reader when I was a kid.
That's right.
I loved to read. I love to get into these adventures and these little, I think 14, 15 is when I really stopped reading fiction and really picked up on, political science and economics books and history books, a lot of history books. I was reading a lot of nonfiction stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about the time I was 14 or 15, but, my shit was filled up with fantasy and horror type of reading when I was a kid. And, I read up on, even the nonfiction stuff, read up on true crime stuff and serial killers and things like that. Like, that's the kind of shit I was into. But I want my daughter to go like, hey, man, they've got a category for whatever you want to get into. But be a reader.
Well, be a reader, but not only be a reader, and there's that fine line that you walk between being a reader and then being somebody that can, what's the word I'm looking for? I hate to use that word, that I word. Somebody that can interpret reading, and not everybody can do that. They really can't.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that easy of a thing to do unless you've been a reader before. Then you can understand, you can put yourself at the author's disposition and really start to understand where they're coming from and why they're writing it this way, why it's being descripted in that manner. You know,
I try to do that with my daughter as much as humanly possible too. You know, I kind of let her know. Like right now, for instance, we're reading The Giver, which is her first like real long form chapter book, right? So me and her are reading The Giver together, and that came out when I was in 4th grade, I want to say. The book did, and that was like the book that kind of really did change my life forever. Before, you know, Brave New World in 1984, of course, you know, I was still in elementary school when The Giver came out, so that was the first
I was still in elementary school when 1984 came out, so. God damn, I'm old. Thanks, Trip.
Oh, whatever. But you understand what I'm saying, though, right? You know, you kind of dive into those things with people, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I want to encourage that for her and everybody else out there, you know, to do with their kids or with themselves, you know, just go get into adventures, even if you never leave a couch reading a book. You know, if you don't have the know-how or the means to go out there and get it done, you know, there's always getting into adventures with books and things like that. And I think it's very good for people's psyche and to sort of place themselves in those instances.
Well, it really is, and look at
going fucking ape shit. I gotta go check on the dog right quick. Hold on, man.
Right on, man. Trip's got a great point there, though, kids. Man, look at the popular culture and where the kids are going along. Man, they're going along these Hunger Games. What's that fucking shitty sparkly vampire movie series? I don't even remember. Twilight. Yeah, but the kids are going along with that. Like, this is a way to live. We have really stopped. Yeah, and this is where I keep finding fault in an organized society. We've really stopped paying attention to what we're doing for our future. And each and every one of our kids, each and every one of our grandkids is our future. I don't care who you are. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I mean, if you're an old crotchety bastard or bitch that, you know, doesn't have any grandkids or kids or any of that crap, and you really don't give two fucks, sorry. But what we're shaping for our future, for our children, for their future, for what they have left, that's
my time's over. All I can fucking do is hopefully, like, and I've said this since the inception of my show, at least, is going, we happen to be the first generation of parents to raise our kids to not have to be deprogrammed.
Oh, yeah, we happen to.
You know, that you and I had. You know what I mean?
I hate to say it this harsh, but we happen to be the first generation of parents who actually stopped caring about ourselves and started giving a fuck. You know, and that's one of the hardest things that I've had to face in my lifetime. I'll never forget it, man. When my mother and my father and my aunt all sit there, and when I first started doing radio, what the fuck are you doing? What are you out there trying to prove? You guys didn't do it when you had the chance. Now I have to. Fuck off.
Right. You raised degenerates like me, Mom. You know?
Yep. Sorry. You know? I am a product of what you guys forgot to do. And
right. Absolutely.
It's unfortunate to say that to your own parents. It really is. It's not really one of the easier things to say, because they'll give you that look like I should leap up and punch you in the mouth.
I did the best I could with what I had.
But they can't.
That one? You know?
The biggest thing about that is if you bring that, or you actually bring that argument to your parents or your elders or what have you, they don't have an answer for that.
Right.
And that's when all of a sudden they stop criticizing about what you're doing. Because they realize we did have the opportunity. We did have the time that we could have stood up and you wouldn't have had to fight for this.
Yeah.
And yet, here we are. So yeah, they don't chastise me, even with the old man dead and all that. They don't chastise me about what I say as much anymore. Because they know I'm right. I wish I could be wrong. Trip you, I would give you the sword of Heracles or whatever fucking stupid Latin name I could come up with. Please come and kill me now. But I ain't wrong.
Right. Yeah. It's what we have to. Everybody has to adapt to what the hell this fucking world's become, and you can blame it on a number of different factors. It's not just like our parents and grandparents and every other generation that just completely fucked it up. It was just a different time dealing with different issues.
Mm-hmm.
And we happen to have to be the ones, once again, that sort of rise to a certain occasion that not everybody else had to go through.
Well, you're in, to put it nicely, man, we have to be the generation that really gives no fucks. I'm not going to sit here and be afraid of the government. I'm not going to sit here and be afraid of some Fed commie with guns. I'm not going to sit here and be afraid of that shit. Because what is really important is the future. And to be quite honest, my kids, my grandchildren, Tripp's kids, everybody, they're the future. And if we're not going to fight for them, then for fuck's sakes, man, I might as well just be sitting here fucking spanking it to fucking Lola Falana videos.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like I'm dude. I love my kids, and I'm Mr. Family Man. I do this stuff, but I get irate and I get fucking pissed off, and I admit, like, I'm not the world's greatest dad every day of the week. I'm not gonna be like, just because I do the right thing and I love my kids and I provide for them doesn't mean like some of this bullshit that gets brought up that happens with children that I handle the best. I'm not the fucking world's greatest dad.
Me both.
I do have a certain set of skills that make me a nightmare for people that are way now. Though, you know what I mean? Like I feel good as a father on a lot of different levels. But it's cat and mouse game. It's a which hand outweighs the other. But
yeah,
man, I gotta jam, man. I gotta get some shit done before we roll up and all that stuff. But,
that's for sure, man. I got to play some tunes. Get on it. It looks like Dennis has dropped out for some reason. We lost a little bit of fucking continuation.
I think Dennis is trolling the Kokesh interview, but
I hope so. Somebody has to.
He told me he is. He dropped out with us. He was like, "Sorry, I got to do this." And I was like, "Well, you could have told him, motherfucker, or whatever."
They won't let me anywhere near that. I will tell you that right now. My criticism of Kokesh is, pretty much legendary at this point in time. So
for sure, dude. Well, I got a jam, man. Good show tonight, man. I had fun.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when we get to do that, isn't it?
Isn't it?
All right, well, I got to do the usual ritual, man. Plug us on the Sunday show, man. What you got coming up, brother?
Absolutely. I got Ford Fisher coming up Sunday night. Me and Zach will be just shooting the shit like we always do, covering news and whatnot, and hopefully having some good laughs and whatever.
Well, shit, I got the weekend off, so I guess I might have to join you there in the second hour, man.
Rock on.
So,
but yeah, Sunday, 9:00 Eastern, be there.
JRev Radio, babies. Get on it. JRevRadio.com, right? Am I right?
Yep. Later, Lee. Much love.
Brother. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, Trip Pugh from JRev Radio, being a part of the Friday Night Super Show, man. We are having a good time tonight. We're going to play a few tunes here to get us the fuck up on out of here and not talk to Adam Kokesh. And yes, Anarchy Girl coming up here at the top of the hour. Or she's apparently already on. And it really doesn't fucking matter to me. I love Lauren and girls stuff. But Adam Kokesh, good Christ, you'd have been better off, interviewing myself completely shit-faced drunk. We do what we do here on the Friday Night Super Show, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't hold on to that dichotomy that you need to hear something that you need to hear. We tell you the things that you don't want to hear. I know, it sucks. Believe me, we absolutely know it sucks. We're the ones that have to read to begin with and then actually report it to you people out there. And as much as you think it sucks, believe me, the rest of us do. Once you start to realize that, you take that one last step closer towards freedom. Stop giving that fuck, man. I know it's hard. I know you want to. I know each and every one of us has gotten into this for different reasons. And even if those reasons are your kids, if you care about them, if you really care about their future, stop giving a fuck. Stop worrying about whether or not fucking Johnny Law is going to come down and put a gun in your face. Start worrying about which gun you need to have loaded to put back in theirs. I know we don't all want to have a violent fucking ending to all this crap. None of us do. But you also know the fucking inevitability of human nature, man. Look, I can't tell you how to be right. I can't tell you what the next step is. I just know, and I have to quote the fucking 1974 movie Network, you've got to get mad. You've got to stop thinking that government or social programs or any of that crap is going to come down and magically fucking save you. It's not. It never has. It won't. It's not going to save you any more than fucking Superman slinging out the sky and fucking stopping the Kryptonians from, absolutely destroying the planet. It's not going to fucking happen. It's nothing more than a goddamn comic book dream. And once you fucking notice that, man, once you take that little piece of knowledge that's been shoved down your brain, take that brainwashing, throw that shit in the dryer, man, then you've got something. Then all of a sudden, you get a little bit of thought on your own. Then all of a sudden, you get that inkling in your heart and in your head that it ain't right if you ain't got it all there already. There's no reason in 2016 of all fucking years, for Pete's sakes, man, no reason that we can't come together and actually realize what the true enemy is. We can't actually come together and realize what the government is doing to us on a daily basis, man. You wouldn't take an anal rape on a daily basis, would you? You wouldn't take your sister being fucked in the goddamn mouth till she pukes. Yeah, I hate to go that fucking far, man, but you wouldn't take that neither, would you? I mean, I know most people out there wouldn't take anybody saying a foul thing about their mother. And let me tell you one thing. I don't worry about foul things said about my mother because my mother will kick your ass for a fucking donut. As a matter of fact, my mother will kick your ass for free. Words are words. Prophecy is prophecy. Lies are lies. Which trail do you want to keep following down, man? Do you want to go down the lies are lies where they're all lies and you know they're lies, but hey, what can you do? Do you want to go down the prophecy aisles? What? It could be true. Do you want to go down the reality path, man? Look, that ain't true. That ain't true. This motherfucker's lying. This motherfucker's lying. What in the fuck am I doing here? Well, I'll tell you what you're doing here. You're here because you're just as mad as we are. You just ain't figured out how the words need to go. You just ain't figured out which point you need to focus your anger on. You want to keep on fighting? Keep on fighting. I'll be right there by your side, man. I don't care. That's what we have to do in order to make a decent change in this planet. We can either sit back and just go, well, it's not affecting me. Fuck it. Or we can look big picture, kids. We can look at what that future for our children is going to be. We can look at what that future for our grandchildren is going to be. We can look and decide for ourselves that we want to be that last voice. We want to be that last person that stood up in history's eyes. At least in somewhere, at some point in time, regardless of what the government does, it will be recorded that you stood up, that you said something, that you did something, that you fed people, that you lived, that you loved. It will be said. You just have to kind of pick which history you want to dictate, man. Do you want to dictate an Orwellian life of slavery? Go right ahead. I'll tell you what I want to dictate. A life of freedom. A life of not bowing down to somebody just because they got a gun in your fucking face. There is no fear. There is no hiding behind crap. I hide behind no words, no laws, nor anything like that. You know why? Because I know what's real. So does Trip Pugh, so does Dennis Ford, so does everybody. We know what's real. We're trying to steer you away from what's fake. Got no condemning words for you that want to believe it's fake. Want to keep on buying into it. Want to keep eating the shit sandwich that you keep getting fed every day, man. Can't think lowly of you. I really can't. I love you. There's a reason that we do these shit. It's not just because of my kids or grandkids. You know, they are number one. But guess what, kids? The rest of you are number two. That means you're the shit. Dig it? I want to help you. I want you to be able to understand just how bad you're getting fucked in the ass, okay? Don't send us money. Don't send us gratuities or anything. If you want to, chime in with a positive comment on your social media, by all means. A thumbs up. That really helps us feel better. But to be quite honest, man, we don't ask anything of you other than realize where you're at. Realize your freedom. Realize just how good you can be. Realize that you're a last voice for liberty. I'm the Mouth. This is the Friday Night Super Show. Check out Lauren Young, Anarchy Girl there. She's got Anthem there tonight, man, over on Truth Emerges Radio. I'm the Mouth, kids. Thanks to Trip Pugh, Dennis Ford, everybody that tuned in tonight, man. We love y'all. We out.